Not, there's two philosophies. One says that, if you'll permit me, one says that one says that you should be desireless. Even the desire for God is getting in the way of actually experiencing enlightenment. And the other says if you don't want it so much that it's like you're a drowning man who wants air, or a man with his hair on fire, then you won't get God. So they both sound good, but what's the bridge?
You see, one says that you must desire God with an intensity, like your hair is on fire. And the other says that God will come when you don't even desire God Himself. Second is the higher stage. To get to the second stage, you have to go through the first stage. Well, leave alone God, you have to fulfill your material desires. Then they become subtler and subtler till you desire God alone. Then, when you have to go to that stage where the criteria is, even the desire for God is a desire, hence you shouldn't desire that. It can't be done by artificial means. You have to mature and grow into it. And when you grow and mature into it, when you really desire nothing, then you are pulled up through the stargate to the lightless light. You cannot make an effort, and you cannot not make an effort. If you make an effort, it's a desire. Okay? If you don't make an effort, it's laziness. So you can't get God. You make an effort, it's a desire, so you can't get God. So you have to be in a tranquil aloofness. It's a very high stage. It's the high stage beyond Nirvikalpa Samadhi, beyond the Dharma make. So you have to just be in nascent, that means childlike awareness. Just rest in the bosom of duration, just being aware. And that purity, your own purity will pull you through your own stargate. Like a black hole falls into itself. You will fall into eternity through the gravity of your own nothingness. But if there's even the slightest desire, you will not pass through the stargate of your own consciousness. It's a transition from divine mind to divine consciousness. That is a very difficult stage indeed. Where you have to... Is this the chef's hat?
I wear many hats.
And where's all your charismatic... Oh, the gang. Oh, hello. Everybody has been working hard. God bless you. So it's a crucial stage. You have to, try. If you try, it's a desire. You will not pass through your stargate and not get enlightenment because you're desiring. If you don't try, you will not pass through the stargate because you're being lazy. So it's not for the lazy. So you just have to be intensely aware with no desire, even for God. And when you are like that, floating in the vast sea of bliss, in the state of a crystal mind, then the magnetism of your own nothingness, the magnetism of your own pure contentless consciousness shall pull you through your own stargate, where you shall fall into your own intensity. You will fall into your own, eternity. Because your spiritual gravity shall pull you out of the space-time continuum into the dimension of the godless God.
So the gravity is not...
Now the advanced class, I told you this is for advanced students. This must be like a shock coming straight from the kitchen into the lightless light. It's a very high level. So do you see that ultimately coming back to the question is that when you desire God intensely, so intense must be your desire that you cannot live without Him. And then after that, when that wave is gone, it is so intense that you don't even desire God. The mind the conscious seer, that is the soul, just passes out of the stage of mind where the desire is there. It's only the mind that desires, no? The no mind cannot desire, because desire is an ingredient of the mind. How can a no mind have ingredients? How can no food have a recipe? The moment you put a recipe, it becomes food, right? So therefore, when you transcend the mind and go into consciousness, there is no desire, even for God. Because God is a word of the human making, of the human mind. Okay? And all ideas about, your ideas about a God are reflected through the human mind. They are colored by the human mind. And your human mind, which is a creator of God, which you think to be God, cannot be, so the God created by you cannot be greater than the Creator. So that fallacy or that idea of God which you have in your mind has to be discarded. It has to be dissolved, because you don't want to see God through your limited mind, your junky mind. You want to see God as He is. And if you want to see God as He is, stop that desiring. So this is a very high stage. It's called the Purush Khyati Samadhi, Para Vairagya. That even the stamp which is in your mind substance of seeing God, even when that stamp is obliterated from your mind, then and then alone you stand in crystal consciousness, transcending the mind. You are peerless. You are the lightless light. And then after that, as after effect, then she comes, the sweet nurse of nature, the mother, and she hangs before you like a gold and silvery cloud and gives you her blessings, because she cannot enter the sphere of the Father. She's taken the child up to the very edge, up to the far reaches and limits of the mind and matter of the universe, where that individual has purified his mind and matter to the ultimate imagination of pure crystal light, dazzling, the lightless light. And she says, okay, my son, I brought you up to here now, you must go alone to meet the Father. So then the spark that you are, the conscious seer, merges into the universal consciousness. The jiva merges into Shiva. The finite consciousness of your soul merges into the infinite consciousness, and you enter the naked singularity, where space and time are swallowed up. The great causality is no more. Niyati is no more. And light is swallowed up. Causality is swallowed up. Time and space are swallowed up by the great nothingness, called the Nagna Satya, the naked truth, the naked singularity. And there, in the ultimate concentration of all creation and beyond, shines a light. And the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. This is not, but then how can a light shine? When light and matter and space and time have already been swallowed up by the great time called Mahankal, the great dark hole, the benevolent black hole of the universe. When light is swallowed up, then how can light shine? And that too in the core of the black hole, not to the side. In the singularity, there shines the light. What is that light? And that is the lightless light which lights the light of all our souls. That is the lightless light which not only gives its light to the whole of creation, but gives its light to and its darkness to the black hole also, which is the antithesis of creation, antithesis of the white hole. So both the black hole and the white hole are of the nature of the hourglass and the drum of Shiva. So it's called, the black hole is like this, everything goes into it. And when it goes to such a point, there's such an intensity of the black hole, it shines as a white star. Penetrating the white star, you go into the white hole. So this is the hourglass, eternal time and space, and the eternal sound, the Damru of Shiva, where by his Naad and his time, he creates time and sound and brings the new creation to life. So you go into the black hole only to come out of the white hole after eons of billions of unknown years. This is the mystery of creation, preservation, destruction and ultimate spiritual emancipation. But the story of the Jagat, the story of the expanding and contracting universe, carry on.